शुक्लांबरधरं विष्णुं शशिवर्णं चतुर्भुजं प्रसन्नवदनं ध्यायेत् सर्वविघ्नोपशान्तये। रामाय रामभद्राय रामचन्द्राय वेधसे रघुनाथाय नाथाय सीतायाः पतये नमः। कूजन्तं राम रामेति मधुरं मधुराक्षरम् आरुह्य कविताशाखां वन्दे वाल्मीकिकोकिलम्। अञ्जनानन्दनं वीरं जानकी शोकनाशनं कपीशमक्षहन्तारं वन्दे लङ्काभयङ्करम्। नमोऽस्तु रामाय सलक्ष्मणाय देव्यै च तस्यै जनकात्मजायै। नमोऽस्तु रुद्रेन्द्रयमालेभ्यो नमोऽस्तु चन्द्रार्कमरुद्गणेभ्यः। ॐ नमः परमहंसास्वादितचरणकमलचिन्मकरन्दाय भक्तजनमानसनिवासाय श्रीरामचन्द्राय ॐ। So we are in Ayodhya Kanda, first Sarga. We are seeing the gunas of Rama. Yesterday we stopped till 14th, I think. So, Nachanruta Katho Vidwan Vruddhanam Pratipujakah Anuraktah Prajabhishcha Prajaschapyanurajyate. So, Anuraktaha Prajabhi Anuraktaha San Prajaschapyanurajyate. That is, this is mutual. I told you, he also, the people also are very dear towards Rama. Rama is also dear towards the praja, and there is no hetu here. People don't like Rama because Rama likes him. People like Rama because Rama is what he is, and Rama also likes people not because they love him. So Rama loves people because his nature is like that. So he's very endearing, etc. So yesterday I was having some problem in explaining that Govindaraja's line there. So Anruta Kathaha, I told you, he said Anruta Kathaha Nabhavati Katha Prabandha Kalpana Anruta Yasya. So Saha Anruta Kathaha, that is one way that he explained, and the next line Vetiti Vidwan, that is for the alternate explanation he is giving. That is the second explanation he gives is, so Rama is somebody na Anruta Kathaha, when you say, so somewhere Satyaha, so he always speaks truth, something like that is going to come, I suppose, if I remember like that. So here Anruta Kathaha, therefore he interprets it as saying that he does not engage in what is that called? So some kind of what is it called? Some talk. So it's called low talk or something like that. So something like, so all these kind of time pass things he doesn't speak. There is some word for it which I'm perhaps not getting. So that kind of thing he doesn't indulge in, just for the sake of speaking. So I think I mentioned this earlier also in the first sarga also, same gunas I think has come just for the sake of, so Antakshari they play, Antyakshari, it should be Antyakshari, they play Bete Bete Kya Kare, loose talk, something like that. So Bete Bete Kya Kare, Karna Hai Kuch Kaam, so Shuru Kare Antyakshari, Leke Prabhu Ka Naam. That Leke Prabhu Ka Naam is alright, take God's name and start Antyakshari. But then Bete Bete Kya Kare, what to do? We are just sitting, so let's do something, so let's play Antakshari. He's not like that. So just because nothing else to do, so let's indulge in some gossip or something like that. So that he doesn't do. So loose talk, etc. So there was some other word that I'm looking for, but anyway, so that kind of talk he doesn't indulge in, and that explanation he's giving. So how do you kind of explain that such kind of talk he doesn't do? He's saying even this kavya lapa etc. also he doesn't do. So vritha entertainment, these things are, so just for time pass you kind of indulge in kavya lapa and all those things. You will see some back then that was the kind of entertainment they had. These days if you are free you go to a movie. If you have nothing to do, so what to do now? Nothing else, or very nice movie has released, whether it is nice or not, so 60% ratings if you have, people will go to the movie, such kind of thing. So just for time pass they do such kind of indulging in entertainment simply for for no reason that he doesn't do. He's saying like that. So, and why does he not do? Why does he not indulge in this kavya lapa etc.? Maybe he doesn't know all those kavyas, that's why he's not doing. No, vidwan, he knows all those things. Vetiti vidwan anruta katha abhavaha na tadajnanat kintu tadvarjyatva jnanat ityarthaha. He knows all those kavyas, all these things that people speak about, he knows very well, but then he doesn't do because he knows that they are varjya, they are something that is to be abandoned. So kavya lapanscha varjayet, there is a smriti like that. I think I mentioned this earlier also in the introduction or whatever in the beginning. So kavya lapanscha varjayet, all these kavya lapa etc. you better don't indulge in, like that. There is a smriti. But then, so there is a lot of mimamsa on that. Why should you not study kavya? Why did they say like that? So many pakshas are presented. Is it because rishis didn't write kavya, but no, you can see Vyasa, Valmiki, etc. wrote kavyas? Is it because human beings have written kavyas, but then human beings have written other shastras also? You are going and reading that. Is it because it doesn't give, amushmika phalam or moksha, something like that? No, but there are kavyas which give you such kind of results. Is it because some laukika phalam it doesn't give? No, that also is possible. If you study these things, some loka vyavahara, you know how to manage. So there are various pakshas like that. Why you shouldn't study kavya? So the sahityakaras indulge in that. They have to defend their shastra anyway, their works anyway. So they do all that, and finally the conclusion they have come up for the kavya lapanscha varjayet for that smriti. The conclusion is that so all these some kind of cheap kavyams will be there. So study only those kavyas in which an uttama purusha is kind of described. So some ideal that you can look upon to. Such kind of kavyas you listen to. Other kavyas you don't listen to. So this is one kind of putting it. So kavya lapanscha varjayet means all these lowly kavyams, so cheap entertainment you don't indulge in. So study kavyas so that you will get some benefit by studying those characters, etc. So I quoted this Prataparudriya in the beginning. So that Prataparudriya is where that shloka came from. That is yet. So these Prabhu Samhita, Suhrit Samhita, and Kanta Samhita, I told that yet Vedat. So that shloka that is coming from Prataparudriya. There Vidyanatha is the author of Prataparudriya. So he says Yatra Punaha Uttama Purusha Charitam Nanibadhyate Tat Kavyam Parityajyameva Tadvishayacha Smritihi Kavyalapansha Varjayediti. So where Uttama Purusha Charita is not described, such kavyas you have to abandon, better not study them. So that is what is this Smriti telling. And then very nice one more statement they have. I've written these down, so I'm reading one small statement. He said Pratipadya Mahimna. So this is some other Vyakhya is telling Pratipadya Mahimna Prabandha Prashastihi iti Shastranam api Samanyam etate. So when should you study something or not study something? So there is a lot of charcha actually there. So should you study a kavya that is written by so-called, whether only Brahmanas have written, those only you have to study, other people have written, should you study that or not? Such kind of discussion is all there. So the conclusion they have come up is that so Pratipadya Mahimna Prabandha Prashastihi. So whether you should study a work or not, be it any work, so Shastranam api Samanyam etat. Even for any Shastra, what is important, leave alone Kavyam. So Kavyam is a small thing. Even for Shastras, this is the rule that what is the subject matter. Pratipadya Mahimna Prabandha Prashastihi. A work, Prabandha means a work gets importance depending on what is the subject matter exposited there. So that's why in the beginning they write Anubandha Chatushtayam, etc. They have to mention what is it that they are going to write and what is the phalam you will get by studying this work, etc. All those things called Anubandha Chatushtayam. So this is coming from actually Kumarila Bhatta. He says so Jnatartham Jnata Sambandham Shrotum Shrota Pravartate. So a Shrota will engage in some work only when he knows what is happening there, what is being discussed, and then is it of some result to me, of any help to me. Those things he first has to know, and then only he will enter into the Shastra. Therefore they write this Anubandha Chatushtayam, etc. So anyways, so people that convention is anyway there. On top of it, Kumar Bhatta has expressly stated. So these people, whenever they are writing Anubandha Chatushtayam and mentioning those things, they quote this Kumar Bhatta's Vartikam. So that is that shloka. Nacha Anruta Kathaha Vidwan Vrithanam Pratipujakaha we saw. So Anruta Kathaha, why na Anruta Kathaha? Why doesn't he engage in such Kavyalapa, etc.? Because he is Vidwan. He knows all those things, but he also knows that such things have to be kept aside. Therefore, he doesn't engage in such loose talk, etc. Now, 15th shloka. सानुक्रोशो जितक्रोधो ब्राह्मण प्रतिपूजकः दीनानुकंपी धर्मज्ञो नित्यं प्रग्रहवान् शुचिः सानुक्रोशः. So anukrosha means dukhiteshu daya. I think that is maybe that's how, yeah, dukhishu daya, that is anukrosha, that is to have compassion. So Rama is somebody who has compassion. Sa anukroshaha means one who has compassion. And then jitakrodhaha, he has his Krodha under control. This we have already seen in Vishwamitra's story. Brahmana Pratipujakaha. So he specifically worships Brahmanas, etc. Dinanukampi. Dinanukampi again is compassionate. So they have to show some difference between Sanukroshaha and Dinanukampi. We will see. Dharmajnaha. And then Nityam Pragrahavan. Nityam Pragrahavan, I think, means so one who does not follow adharma, like that they are writing dushta nigraha, etc. We will see those comments. Pragraha actually means kind of showing some control over, actually. So nityam pragrahavan means one who has control always. So not always you can talk about mind control, etc. You know, all that already once it has been mentioned. So he has his mind under his control. Atmavattaya Shatamapi. So Nasmaratyapakaranam Shatamapi Atmavattaya. Why doesn't he remember all those even hundreds of apakarams done to him? Why does he not remember? Because he has his mind under his control, and he therefore that such thoughts he doesn't let them arise. So their Atmavataya has been described. So here Pragrahavan has to be explained some other way. They will do that. So here, he controls enemies, external enemies, something like that they will say. And then Shuchihi. Shuchihi means one who is his habits are clean, etc. So let's see what these commentators are saying. Anukroshaha means daya. Dukkhishu daya tadvan sanukroshaha. Sanukroshaha means one who has dukkhiteshu daya, one who has compassion towards those who are suffering. Dinanukampi, all this is Tilakakara. So first I will always read Tilakakara, and the others I am taking name anyway. So if I am not taking the name, it's assumed that it is Tilakakara's commentary. Dinanukampi means Dinanukampaya tad abhilashita prapakaha ato na paunarukyam. So Dinanukampi and Sanukroshaha, Tilakakara is telling the difference is Anukampa means daya, actually. So Dinanukampi means he has daya towards Dinas. Dinas are what we call as have-nots. You know, the society has haves and have-nots, these people say. So these have-nots are called Dina, and he has compassion towards them. He has compassion generally, that's Anukroshaha. So what is the difference? Not only he has compassion, but also he will do something to remove their wants, you know. So in Bhagavatam, in Kapilopadesha, there is a shloka. So like we have in Gita, you know, yatah pravrittir bhutanam yena sarvam idam tatam swakarmana tam abhyarcha siddhim vindati manavaha. Like that there is a shloka. So he who is from whom this jagat has come, and he who pervades this entire jagat, that person, so that whatever you want to call Bhagavan, Ishvaraha, etc., by worshipping him by your own karma, so karmana tam abhyarcha, you will attain siddhi, that is moksha, etc. So like that, in the same spirit, I don't remember the first line, the second line in Kapilopadesha, it comes, so arhaye danamanabhyam maitriya bhinnena chakshusha. So you have to worship that Bhagavan who yatah pravrittir bhutanam. In the same spirit, there is that first line. So arhaye danamanabhyam. So you have to worship that Bhagavan by dana and mana. Mana means giving respect, and dana means giving danam. So to those people, to these have-nots, you give what they want, if it is in your means, obviously. So give what they want, and then give them respectfully. Manabhyam also. So dana manabhyam. Manam also you should give them respect. And how should you give? Not with the buddhi of, you know, they are somebody who are recipient, so they are lowly than me, I am at a higher position. You should not think like that. Maitriya bhinnena chakshusha. You should look at them as your own friend, and then abhinna chakshusha. So Maitriya bhinna chakshusha, you can put it in two ways. You look upon them as their friend, as your friend, and also look upon them as non-different from you. That is that dana manabhyam arhayet. Arhayet means pujayet. You worship that Bhagavan by, so Ranganath Nandaji very nicely translated this as, not a literal translation, but the spirit is very nice. He says you worship that Bhagavan by removing the felt wants of these people. Felt wants means, so they have some wants which are necessities for them in life, so you remove them by giving whatever they want. So this Anukampi, Dinanukampi, Tilakakara is saying like that. He not only has compassion, but because he is Chakravarti's son, you know, so he also has the means to remove their felt wants. So such kind of thing also he does, that is Dinanukampi. Therefore no Punarukti dosha. He is Sanukroshaha. Sanukroshaha, there is a mental attitude, and Dinanukampi means one who acts upon his compassion also, because he has means, and to the extent that we have means, we can also act, and then that is Dinanukampi. Then Pragrahaha means Dushta Nigrahaha, Indriya Nigrahascha. So Pragrahaha means he kind of restrains the enemies. Dushtas need not be enemies only. Those people are harmful to the society. They are dushta. You need not have any enmity with them. So that is dushtas are people who are causing harm to the society. Those people he restrains them. That is, he wins over them, or he kind of gives punishment, etc. Because he's in that position of a king. So it's his dharma to do that. So he does that. That is dushta nigraha. And then also indriya nigraha also. So indriya nigraha, he has control over his indriya. So earlier atmavataya, he has control over his mind. And then here indriya nigraha you can take on each of these. Today in the morning Swamiji was talking about this. So he gave a nice explanation for these things. So he just suddenly he was teaching Dhammapadam, and then he asked this question. So these people go to pubs and then drink and dance. So why do they do like that? So Swamiji was saying, I never understood why these people do like that. So he threw open the question. There is a psychiatrist in the class, very famous psychiatrist in Hyderabad. He comes to that class. He's sitting there, and he offered his comments on that. And then Swamiji also added some insight. He said, see, this is called self-abandon. So these people are, so they've kind of forget themselves in that such kind of dance, etc. You drink and dance, you forget yourself. The self-abandon is there. So that self-abandon you should not have. It is very harmful. It is an induced self-abandon as against let's say something like self-abnegation. So amanitvam, when you're saying Bhagwan praises amanitvam, but then Bhagwan also criticizes, harsha. So harsha marsha bhayodvegaihi muktaha, he says. So harsha many times Bhagwan criticizes in Gita. So you see in the lokam, in general parlance, Sanskrit words, when they come to regional languages, sometimes their meanings kind of change. This harsha is one such word. Harsha, when it comes to laukika, parlance, or even say regional language like in Telugu. So harsha, when you say he's very happy, he's very excited, it becomes as though positive quality. But then in Sanskrit, if you see harsha and amarsha, Bhagwan said both of them you keep aside. So when Bhagwan says something keep aside, it cannot be a positive quality. But then in laukika parlance, it has come like that. So this harsha is that self-abandon. So you kind of indulge yourself, and through that indulgence you forget yourself. So that is an induced self-forgetful, self-abandon, that he said self-abandon. I like that word. So self-abandon as against self-abnegation, which is coming through vichara, and then by seeing the satyam, etc. So seeing means by knowing, etc. So that self-abandon. There's a subtle difference between both of them, amanitvam, and then that self-abandon, self-abnegation and self-abandon. So this pragraha, you can say something like that. He doesn't let his indriyas let loose. There are very nice points on this in Bhagavad Gita itself. So if I go there, it will take time. So anyway, that indriya nigraha, why you should have, otherwise what happens, your life is just, it carries, your life gets carried away. So you get spent if you kind of give too much indulgence into the senses. So Rama is like that. He's pragraha, means indriya nigrahavan he is. Now Shiromani Kara has something to say. So this Shiromani Kara always, I told you some qualities about him. Every word he interprets, and he uses technical language. And then you must have already seen, I told this earlier also. So where did I say anasuyakaha? There he gave, so he gave anaha, uyakaha, etc. He gave some meanings there, like that, something like that he's giving here. Sanukraha. So sanukroshaha he's explaining. How is he explaining? Sanukraha. Anukrena Swiya Palana Vishayaka Nirantara Yatnena Sahitaha, and then Ashaha Swatanu Prakasha Dwara Sarvatra Purnaha. So Sanukroshaha, he's explaining Sanukraha and Ashaha. So Sanukraha means what? Anukrena Sahitaha Sanukraha. But what is Anukrena? What is Anukra? Swiya Palana Vishayaka Nirantara Yatnena. So this anukra means the yatna, the effort that he puts in to always kind of protect his sviya. Sviya means those who he thinks as they belong to me. That is how sviya comes. Or you can put it the other way, because he is Bhagavan, he wouldn't have such kind of feelings. Others claim that we belong to Rama. Such kind of people he is always protecting. And then anukraha means that efforts that he puts in to always keep his people who kind of surrender themselves to Rama out of bhakti. Such people he is always protecting, and the effort that is required in that protecting is called anukraha. So sanukraha means one who has such kind of effort, such kind of yatnena sahitaha. And then ashaha means swatanu prakasha dwara sarvatra purnaha. That is he who is, tasya bhasa sarvamidam vibhati, what Upanishad says, that is what he is telling. So it is his light that is shining as this jagat, So the very Vedantic thing. So what we see as the Vastu, so there's a lot of vichara on such things. So what we see as the Vastu, what we see as Ghata, first of all, Vedanta says Jagat is Mithya. So take this example of Ghata, that Ghata is Mithya. There is nothing called Ghata there. So when you're saying there is nothing called ghata, so this is how, so some texts do nice vichara there. When you're saying there is no ghata, what is it that is opposing to that knowledge that you're having? So I am ghataha knowledge you're having, so and but then you're saying there is no ghata there, what is it that is opposing? So in that sat amsha there is no opposition, so some ghataha asti, there is some ghata there, in that existence aspect there is no opposition. But then what is the vishaya of that? There is an opposition. So san ghataha means, so ghata that is being known also there. Ghata jnanam you are having there. In that ghata jnanam there is nothing called ghatatva, which is the vishaya there. That jnanam is always, you know, coming, which is your swarupa jnanam, you are seeing as ghata jnanam. And then the example they say there is another ghata there somewhere, it doesn't reveal itself. So there is nothing called knowledge or being knownness in the ghata. What is that? Knowledge is always, there is only one kind of chaitanyam, which is chit, you know, that knowledge is only one. Jnanam is only coming from Atma. So those things are, so this jnanam of the self is being reflected on the object there, and then it is looking like the object is being known. Object is being known, nahi, it is only jnapti, your own knowledge is there, and then that object is just a, you know, incidental thing there. So there's a lot of vichara on such things. This is not the context for all that here. So here he says, what is that word? So ashaha satsvatanu prakasha dwara sarvatra purnaha. He by his prakasha is engulfing all this universe. That is, it is his sat chit, so chinmaya sat. So it is his chinmaya sat that is appearing as this world. So that is how he is explaining. Then jita krodhaha, jitaha krodhaha swapakarishvapi kopo yena saha. So yena swapakarishvapi kopaha jitaha. So jita krodhaha means he who has won over his anger even towards people who hurt him. Swapakarishu api kopaha jitaha yena. Now, and then nityam pragrahavan. Nityam pragrahavan means adharma nigrahavan. So one who restrains adharma, that is, he puts an end to adharma. Whenever, as a king, you know, he is the prince, he is the king, kshatriya he is, so wherever there is adharma, it is his kartavya to put an end to that. And then shuchihi means sakala pavana hetuhu. So it is, so so there is a shloka in Mahabharata, so navarina shinchati antaratma, something like that. There is a very nice shloka. So it is not so agni in karma kanda you will see some kind of purifiers, you know. So water, if you wash with water, it gets purified. Sometimes if you show it to agni, it gets purified. If you see homas, etc., you'll see these people take the vessel, in first the vessels in which many things have to be kept. That vessel they will show means actually they're kind of touching it to the fire, they're showing it to the fire. Then you will have those leaves with which you are offering you know, the havis, in that, all that they will show to fire. That showing to fire is the cleanser there. So some kind of samskara is happening to them. So such kind of purifiers are there in karma kanda, but ultimately the only purifier he is telling sakala pavana hetuhu ramaha eva. It is Rama nama you can take, or Rama's story when you think of it. So that is the most auspicious thing. So there is a nice shloka on Brahman, you must have heard that, smriti matre, so ashubhani nirachaste tanoti shubhasantatim smriti matrena yat pumsam brahmatan mangalam param. This is usually quoted for Adhyasa Bhashya. Bhagavan Bhashyakara doesn't have any so what is that? Mangala Charanam for Adhyasa Bhashya. Just starts Yushmad Asmat Pratyaya Vishayoho. So all that he starts like that directly into the vichara. No Mangala Charanam, etc. People raise an objection, why no Mangala Charanam there? So then they say, see, this is Brahma Vichara, Atma Vichara, this is, so Shariraka Brahma Vichara, the Brahman that is in the Sharira, that is your own Atma. So in that Vichara, so Shankara's Bhashyam you must be knowing is called Shariraka Mimamsa Bhashyam. So Brahma Sutra Bhashyam has a name which he kept. So Shariraka Mimamsa, that is Mimamsa Vichara about the Shariraka, one who is in the body, which is the Atma. So Mimamsa about it, is it a Parichina one, is it an Alpagniha, etc., or is it that Akhanda, so Brahma, Akhanda Vastu, etc. That is a Vichara there. Anyway, there they say, then there are two shlokas they quote. No need of such kind of Mangala Charanam when you are discussing such an auspicious object. So this is one of those two shlokas. Ashubhani nirachaste tanoti shubhasantatim smriti matrena yat pumsam brahmatan mangalam param. That Parabrahma is so auspicious, so extremely auspicious. Param mangalam, so auspicious that smriti matrena, just by thinking about it, ashubhani nirachaste, all ashubhas are removed. Tanoti shubha santatim. So santati means I think it's from Ata Satatya Gamane. So continuously shubha, so auspicious things are given to you just by remembering it. That is that greatness of Brahman. So Ramanama is also like that. I told you Ratna Prabhakara is a great Rama Bhakta. End of Chatushutri, I think beginning of every Adhyaya also he writes shloka on Rama. So and then he nicely shows the entire what should I say, Adhikarana Sara, he shows with Rama's story or Rama's greatness. He speaks about Ramanama's greatness. He speaks about and shows the entire Adhikarana's, not Adhikarana, entire Adhyaya Sara he shows there. All the four padas of each Adhyaya he will put in that shloka praising Rama. So that is Rama's greatness, that mere remembrance of him or mere uttering his name, so it becomes auspicious. I just remembered, I heard some Pravachana Karta some days back, I heard it long back also, same kind of talk, and he says, see, so sometimes so some things are auspicious but they are auspicious only to a certain context. In another context, they say don't recite such things. For example, at the time of death, they say these mantras you don't recite because they are auspicious mantras. Auspicious mantras means what? Even that death, that situation, an inauspicious situation also, they should be able to purify. But these mantras are not like that. They do not have the capacity to purify even an inauspicious situation. But see, in India, the tradition is, so at least in northern India, in southern India, I have seen they say Govinda, Govinda when they are lifting the dead body. In northern India, when they are lifting the dead body, they take Ramanama. So Ram Bolo Bhai Ram Bolo or Ram Nam Satya Hai, they say, and then take the body. Ramanama is so purifying that even that auspicious, so-called inauspicious situation, it kinds of purifies. Even that there is no time when you should not do Ucharana of Bhagavan Nama. You know, I told that shloka of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So Smarane Kalaha na Niyamitaha. So Bhagavan, your Kripa is so great. So your Ananta Shakti you kept in your Nama. And then you didn't even say that this Nama has to be taken only at such time. You didn't even put such niyama. So Bhagavan Nama can be taken at any situation in life. There is no auspicious situation, inauspicious. They say, you know, in I think in Christianity there is this statement that you should not take God's name in vain. Thou shalt, I think it's one of the 10 commandments also. Thou shalt not take God's name in vain. But then we have no such idea. There's nothing called taking God's name in vain. Taking God's name, taking Ramanama itself is the auspicious thing. So therefore, Shuchihi means Shuchihi. You can say Rama is a very pure, very clean, hygienic person. You can say, but then Rama is somebody who can induce that Shaucham in you also. Shuchihi Sakala Pavana Hetuhu. Now Govinda Raja has some comments to make. Now Daya he is saying Daya he Nama apara dukkha asahishnutvam. That is Daya he is telling. So this is very nice famous song is there, Gujarati song, Vaishnava Janato Tene Kahiye Je Peed Parai Jane Re. So he is a true Vaishnava who knows the dukkham of the other person. Knows means, oh, he's suffering nicely. That's not what knows there means. So knows is you should have that empathy. These people are suffering, such kind of empathy. This is the Daya he is telling. So apara dukkha asahishnutvam. If somebody is suffering, Rama, I think it came earlier or it's going to come. So Bhrisham Bhavati Dukkhitaha. So when these people are suffering, Rama becomes extremely ayo. These people are suffering. He becomes very sensitive, empathetic towards them. That is Daya. And now Brahmana Pratipujakaha, he is explaining Brahma Vedaha Tad Vidantiti Brahmanaha. So Brahma means Veda, those who study and those who know. So this vid dhatu, so tadadhite tad Veda iti, this an. So that Brahmana, in that Brahma, an is there, you know, that an suffix has come in the sense of like anyway, let's not go into, so in Vayyakarana, also Vayyakarani, when you are saying, so tad vidanti, tadadhite tad Veda, in that sense, an has come. So Brahma Adhite or Brahma Janati. In both sense, he is Brahmana. So one who studies Veda or one who knows that Param Brahma or one who knows the meaning of the Vedas, he is called a Brahmana. So Brahma means Vedaha tad tad vidanti iti Brahmanaha. Those people who know Vedas, they are called Brahmanas. So how do you know this knows Vedas? How did it come? It came from an an pratyaya there. Now, so Brahmana Pratipujakaha. What is Pratipujakaha? Already, even earlier, somewhere we saw this. Pratyudgamya Pujakaha, Pratipujakaha, Brahmananam Pratipujakaha. Brahmananam Pratipujakaha. What is this? Prati means Prati Udgamya. Prati usually say in reply he worships back. It's not like that. Brahmanas, so Rama is a Kshatriya, at least that Upadhi of Rama, is a Kshatriya Upadhi. So Brahmanas may not worship him, at least explicitly. So in Vishwamitra's case also, if I remember, I have mentioned it. Parashurama's case. So Parashurama did Namaskara and did Pradakshina and then went away. Something like that was there in the Moolam. So I think Tilakakara only mentioned. He said, see, a heart of hearts, in his mind, he did Pradakshina Namaskaram to Rama. You should take it like that. So these Brahmanas, at least explicitly, they may not be doing puja to Rama. But then this Pratipuja Kaha, therefore, cannot mean in response. So he does puja. It's not like that. Prati puja kaha means prati udgamya puja kaha. When a brahmana is coming, immediately he raises from his asanam and then he goes towards them and he does puja. And Ramcharitmanas is a very nice context. So that context is not there so much in Valmiki Ramayana. So in Ramcharitmanas, when Dasharatha decides that he has to do Pattabhishekam for Rama, he first goes to goes to Vasishtha's hermitage, and then he tells Vasishtha that this is my desire. Hey Vasishtha, so what do you think about it? He says, okay, whatever has to happen. He will. So in that very pithy statement he makes, he doesn't say yes, he doesn't say no explicitly. You can give both kind of meanings. He says, okay, whatever has to happen, it will happen. Something like that he will say, and then Dasharatha will request, please you go and instruct Rama what are the kartavyas that he has to do. What he has to do, Vasishtha will tell Rama here only. In Ramcharitmanas, no detailed instructions are given. Here, Vasishtha's detailed instructions to Rama. What is the vratam that he has to do the previous day, previous night, etc. That is there. But then Vasishtha goes to Rama's palace to go and tell him. And then Rama also, Vasishtha only conveys the news to Rama according to Ramcharitmanas. Not so here. So Rama immediately, when the message is conveyed to him that Vasishtha is coming to your palace, he just runs towards the door and said, it's not even appropriate. You should have just instructed me. I would have only come. So your coming means something very auspicious is going to happen to me, etc. He says. So that is the attitude of Rama. So Brahmana Pratipujakaha means when that Brahmana is coming, when he gets that news, he immediately gets up from his seat and goes there and worships him. Not that, okay, let him come, then I will offer him asana. All that is also very nice when he comes, then you are offering asana. But Rama has so much respect that as soon as he knows, he will go. First of all, so even generally for people, he is the one who first initiates a conversation, and then what to speak about Brahmanas and Mahatmas, he will immediately run towards them and do their puja. Now, Deenanukampi, Deeneshu, Visheshato Anukampavan, Vishesho Nama Yatra Dino Drishtaha, Tatraiva Sthitva Danamanadi Karanam. Now, Deenanukampi means one who has Visheshato Anukampa. So he is very compassionate, Sanukroshaha, but Deeneshu, special Visheshataha Anukampa he has. Some great, so exceptional Anukampa he has towards Deenas. And what is that exceptionality towards Deenas? What is the exceptionality he shows? So Yatra Dino Drishtaha, Tatraiva Sthitva Danamanadi Karanam. Suppose he sees a Deena while he is going, on the chariot he is going, then he sees a Deena, there itself he will address his issue. Not that, okay, tomorrow you come to the palace, we will see there. It's not like that. There itself he addresses the problem, whatever that Deena has. So that is Deena Anukampi. This very nicely, it's captured in this movie. So Sita Kalyanam is a Telugu movie, supposedly a very nice artistic movie. So it's made by, I think, Bapu. So I told you about them, Bapu and Ramana, they're great Rama Bhaktas themselves. So I think it's made by them. So in that there is this scene, Rama's young days, some kind of scene like that. Rama is walking on the road, whoever is coming, he kind of responds to them, he kind of talks to them, he asks, how are you, all that. So very nicely it's portrayed there. So wherever he sees, Yatraiva Deenaha Drishtaha, Tatraiva Sthitva Danamanadi Karanam. So Danamanabhyam Arahe, that is how Govinda Raja perhaps is writing, Danamanadi Karanam, Yatra Deenaha Drishtaha, Tatraiva Sthitva, he does that. That is Deena Anukampi. Dharmagnyah, Samanya Vishesha Dharmagnyah, and then Pragrahavan, Niyamavan, Abhayam Sarvabhutebhyo, etc. So Dharmagnyah means Samanya Dharmagnyah. That is not just his Kshatriyam Dharma. Kshatriyam Dharma is going to come in the next shloka. So his Kshatram Dharma he knows, but then Samanya Dharma also he knows. Samanya Dharma means Dharma that is common to all people in the society. So ahimsa, karuna, etc. Such things are everybody supposed to have. That is samanya dharma. So dharmagnaha means samanya and vishesha dharmagnaha also. I think I mentioned this also. So Samanya, or did I? So Maharaj Shri mentions this somewhere, that so he says, I used to think that the Samanya Dharma is more important, Ahimsa, Karuna, etc. Obviously, they are more important. But then, how can you follow Samanya Dharma in a society where many people are there? So once you say there are two people, then itself there is often conflict of interest. And when there are innumerable people in the society, then obviously, so some kind of order has to be maintained. And how is that order? So that order that is being maintained so as to follow your Samanya Dharma. You follow the Samanya Dharma by following the order that is generally accepted in the society. That is why Vishesha Dharma becomes important. He says like that. So he says, I used to think like that, but later in my life I understood the importance of Vishesha Dharma. So Vishesha Dharma is what helps you. So that kind of equilibrium we say, in the society, when there are people of different temperaments and then different responsibilities, different duties, how do you follow then Samanya Dharma? The way you follow Samanya Dharma in a societal context is by following Vishesha Dharma. So therefore, some Mahatmas have said that Constitution is our latest Smriti. There is no problem with such kind of statements. So people jump into attacking such Mahatmas. Constitution is not a Smriti. How can it be a Smriti? Smriti means only Apastamba, Bodhayana, these Parashara, Yagnavalkya. These people should say. All that is very nice. You kind of generate some Apurvatvam even in Smriti Vakyas. This is a very dangerous trend actually. For everything you create an Apurva and say, by doing this some Apurvam is created, therefore you should do like this only. In certain things it is all right, but you should not stretch it too much, too literally. If you stretch, then people will lose faith. So at least the modern day man will lose faith. Again, that problem is there. Should you amend Shastras to kind of make it interesting to the modern man? These debates, you should never therefore enter into. The best thing is you practice what little you can, and then Bhagavan is there always. So therefore, by saying Constitution is the latest Smriti, I don't see any problem in this sense then, because Constitution is what helps you, at least in civil matters. That is what helps you to maintain some kind of order in that society. So ahimsa, if you have to follow, I will drive vehicle on whichever way that I want, whichever road I want. If you follow, then where will ahimsa come from? Therefore, so Constitution is telling you should walk only, you should drive only on the left side of the roads in India. Then you follow. That is, so you are not following that Vishesha Dharma because that is the Vishesha Dharma. You are following Vishesha Dharma so that it helps you in the larger picture of following Samanya Dharma. I liked his explanation a lot, so I thought I would share with you. Now, Dharmagnaha therefore means he knows Samanya Dharmas and Vishesha Dharmas also. And Pragrahavan means Niyamavan. So he has great Niyama. So Rama is Pragrahavan. So like Hanuman, he has, everybody is Hanuman, everybody has cheeks, Hanu means cheeks. But then why is he called Hanuman? Because some special nature is there for his cheeks. Therefore, he is recognized by his cheeks. Like that, Rama is Nigrahavan. So everybody has some kind of Nigraha. Why is he called Nigrahavan? Everybody follows some niyama in their life. But then Rama is specifically called, hey, he is Pragrahavan. So what is that speciality because of which you are calling him Pragrahavan? So he is telling, so that Abhaya Pradhanam that he does, that is the exceptional quality of Rama. So, but that is the exceptional niyama of Rama. Therefore, keeping that niyama in mind, you can call him Pragrahavan, Niyamavan. So, Abhayam Sarvabhutebhyaha Dadami Etad Ratam Mama. I have said this already. Shuchihi Paraswana Swa Anakankshi. So, Shuchihi is very nicely writing. Shuchi means somebody who does not desire something that belongs to another person. So I have a car and somebody thinks, oh, that car I want. I have a plot of land. Suppose, let's say somebody says, oh, that plot of land is very nice, prime location. I want that land. Somehow I have to kind of attack him and take. So these days we hear some stories, politicians kind of threaten people with real estate, etc. They call them and say, you better give it to us. Otherwise, we will see to it that somebody will occupy your land. Such kind of stories they say, they show in movies also. So Rama is not like that. It belongs to another person. He doesn't have any desire to them. That is that Shaucham. He is telling. Shuchihi means Paraswa Anakankshi. Paraswa means something that other person thinks is mine. Paraswa means Swa means mine. Paraswa means for another person it is mine. And that Anakankshi. For that he is quoting. So Manusmriti he is quoting to justify his explanation. यो अर्थे शुचिः योर्थे शुचिः सहि शुचिर न मृद्वारि शुचिः शुचिः. So यहा अर्थे शुचिः सहि शुचिः. So he indeed is somebody, he indeed can be called as Shuchi who is arthe shuchihi. He has that kind of what should I say, that clear intention, or what should I call, about artha. So it is another person's artha, I don't need it. That person who has such an attitude is the real Shuchi, he is telling. And then na mridwari shuchihi shuchihi. He alone is a Shuchi person, and not a person who has merely cleansed his body with water, etc. See, there are some ennobling ideas even in Manusmriti. So there might be other ideas. Some people say they are interpolations. Maybe they are naturally there. Maybe they are interpolations. We don't know. But always, I told you, Pratipadyamana Vastu, you should see what is very nice in that. You can always take up, and you should never blanketly criticizing everybody is not something that is desirable. One thing that we should learn from Rama, we have seen in the last session also, where there are sadgunas, you have to acknowledge them. Where there are durgunas, okay, some people might explicitly acknowledge them. Some people might say, okay, so there are durgunas, why to speak about them? That difference differs from person to person, but then sadgunas you should always positively appreciate. See, very nice statement, Manusmriti is there, he is telling, arthe shuchihi sa eva sahi shuchihi na mridwari shuchihi shuchihi. Just by cleansing your body with water, mrit means mud actually. So mud, you know, Shankara also says in Gita Bhashyam somewhere, I think nahi jnanena sadrisham pavitram iha vidyate. I think in that context he says, so washing agents are there. So like we have soap. So those days maybe they used to use mud and wash themselves, or maybe use mud and wash vessels, etc. So in today's context, you should take soap. Just because you have nice shower and apply soap and have shower, that doesn't make you shuchi enough. That is just physical shaucham, physical cleanliness. But even arthe shuchihi, the money that you acquire also should be clean, white, you know. So not black money, it should be white money. He who has white money is the real Shuchi, Manusmriti Kara is telling. And then Rama, when we are saying Rama is Shuchihi, that is Rama who has Shaucham, that means Rama's wealth is white money. Okay, he doesn't have black money. Politicians back then also, perhaps these people had black money, etc. But Rama is not like that. He had all clean money he had. Now, 16th shloka. Kulochitamati kshatram कुलोचितमतिः क्षात्रं स्वधर्मं बहुमन्यते मन्यते परया प्रीत्या महत्स्वर्गफलं ततः. So I don't know, these sound very familiar to me. Maybe the same things have come in the first sarga, or maybe long back I remember writing a series of posts on these. That's why maybe these appear familiar, these shlokas, for some reason. Of course I have read them earlier also, but it looks like I have already spoken about these things. That's why I'm saying familiarity. Be that as it may, kulochitamatihi kshatram. So when this visarga is coming before ksha, I told you should always give a gap. Kulochitamatihi kshatram swadharmam bahumanyate. You should not read it together. Just give a pause. If you see in Vedic mantras also, a kind of semicolon or a comma will be given when they are printed, you know. So so in Rudram, etc. also you can see. So then ksha comes, and before that, if there is a visarga, they will put a semicolon or a comma. That shows you have to pause there. So kulochitamatihi. So kulochitamatihi means one whose thoughts are always in accordance with his kula. That is that Ikshvaku kula, you know, very noble family. That is, they are known for very great qualities. So Rama's conduct is also in accordance with that kula Ikshvaku kula. And then swam kshatram dharmam bahumanyate. So his swadharmam, swadharmam means kshatram dharmam bahumanyate. So he thinks that the greatest dharma for me in this life is to follow my kshatram dharma. That is my kshatriya dharma I have to follow. That is the greatest thing for me. Having been born in a kshatriya family, what I should do is follow this kshatriya dharma. That is swadharmam kshatram dharmam bahumanyate. That is, it is the greatest thing. He thinks this is a lot for me. Bahumanyate means this is a lot for me. That is, this is what I have to do. That is the meaning. Manyate paraya pritya mahat swarga phalam tataha. So paraya pritya means here paraya kirtya. By that kirti that you get by following your kshatriya dharma, that is the dharma for Rama. So by following your swadharma, you get some kirti, and that kirti is what gives you mahat swarga phalam. Tataha means swadharmanushtanena paraya Pritya, that is paraya kirtya, mahat swarga phalam manyate. Rama thinks that if I follow my Kshatriya dharma properly, then I get swarga phalam. So mahat swarga phalam. So a lot of years I can live in swarga. So a lot of daiva years I can live in swarga. He thinks like that. Now let's see. So they say as long as so in Dhanam context, etc., they say as long as people are talking that so and so person gave, 100 years back that person gave Dhanam. So some people talk like that. As long as that person's fame is spread in this society, so long will that person remain in Swarga, they say. That's perhaps the reason why these people, even if they donate one, I have seen, and it's true also in Andhra districts at least, they will donate one bench or one tile. This tile I have seen okay, let me not take names, but some in temples in Delhi also. On each tile, the donor's name will be written. This tile was donated by so and so family. On bench, they will donate on the banks of the river, and they will write there, this bench was donated by so and so family. To that extent that even on fans, on the blades of the fan, they will write, this fan was donated by so and so people. Why do they do that? This is the spirit behind. So whenever you read that fan there, oh, this was donated by them, then it perhaps adds one more day to that person's Swarga credit. So there is a Smriti Vakya like that. Maybe Shruti itself is saying, I don't know. I don't remember. There's a Vakya like that. So as long as this person's fame is in the society, so long will he remain in Swarga. So that is what Paraya Pritya here means, Paraya Kirtya. I think one of the Vyakhya has said, and Tilakakara is telling Paraya Kirtya there. So that is a Pathantara perhaps, Kirtya, Paraya Kirtya. Therefore, I said Kirtya, I have written there on Pritya on top of it, Kirtya I have written. Perhaps Tilakakara is saying that. So let's see some insights on this. Kulochitamatihi means Swakula Uchita Daya Dakshinya Sharanagata Samrakshanadi Dharmaika Pravana Buddhihi. So this Pravana Buddhi means his thoughts here. So his thoughts, Pravana means following, flowing. His Buddhi is naturally flowing towards certain dharmas. So what are those dharmas towards which his Buddhi is naturally flowing? His Buddhi, so tendency we say, that is Pravana there. Pravanata is tendency. So his natural tendency is to follow the dharma that is appropriate for his Swakula, that is his lineage in which he has come, the Ikshvaku lineage. His natural tendency, Rama's natural tendency is to lead a life in accordance with that lineage's greatness. So, Swakula Uchita, what are those Uchita dharmas for his Kula? Daya, Dakshinya, and then Sharanagata Samrakshanadi. These dharmas that are there, Dharmaika Pravana Buddhi. His mind always tends towards those dharmas only. Dharmaika, so Eka Pravana Buddhi is there. That means his mind always tends towards those only and not other things. And then Tataha, there Tataha is there in the shloka, Mahat Swarga Phalam Tataha. So Tataha means Kshatra Dharmat Prajapalana Janyaya Shatru Samhara Janyaya Cha Kirtya. So he doesn't use Pritya, Tilakakara, but then somehow in the shloka Pritya only is there. So that Kirtya Mahat Swarga Rupam Phalam Sadhyam Manyate Yataha Ataha Kshatram Dharmam Bahu Manyate. So Rama thinks his Kshatriya Dharma is the greatest. Why? What is the reason that Swadharmam Kshatram Dharmam Bahumanyate? What is the reason? Because Tataha, by that Dharmanucharana, Dharmanusthana, he gets Mahat Swarga Phalam. So Mahat Swarga Phalam, he is telling Mahat Phalam. So great result he will get. So what is the result? What is the great result? Swarga Phalam. What is the great result? Swarga is the greatest result. Therefore, that Mahat Phalam means Swarga Phalam. So Mahat Swarga Phalam Tataha. Tataha means Kshatra Dharmat Prajapalana Janyaya Shatru Samhara Janyaya Cha Kirtya, by the fame that he gets by very nicely governing his citizens, that is Prajapalana Janyaya Kirtya, and then Shatru Samhara Janyaya Kirtya, because it is a Kshatriya Dharma to kind of put an end to adharmic people. So by that putting an end to that adharmic people, he gets Kirti, Therefore, that Kirti also is what gives Swarga Phalam. Rama believes in that Shruti statement or Smriti, whatever is that statement, he believes in it. Therefore, he thinks his Kshatriya Dharma is the greatest Dharma for him. Why? Because that is the one which gives him Swarga. So, Shatru Samhara Janyaya Kirtiya, by Shatru Samhara you get some Kirti, and that Kirti remains for very long. I was reminded, in our school we used to have the story of this person called Jim Corbett. In 5th or 6th class we used to have his story. Jim Corbett was an Englishman actually, and he was there in that Himachal Pradesh, that area. There is a big tiger reserve in that, so between Rishikesh and Nainital. On the way, you get Jim Corbett Tiger. I have been to the Jim Corbett Tiger Reserve. It's named after him because those days, so there used to be tigers. Even now, it's a tiger reserve. So tigers, so they are called man eaters. Those man eaters come to the neighboring villages and used to attack villagers and eat them up, etc. This Jim Corbett, it seems, used to hold a gun and kind of protect those villagers from those tigers. So by that, even today people talk about him, Jim Corbett, such a great man. Though he's an Englishman, he has done such kind of help for people. They think about him. So then what to speak about Sri Rama? Till today his kirti is there. Then that shows what kind of Shatru Samhara he must have done and how it must have benefited people. Otherwise, some small Shatru Samhara he must have done, so people would not even remember it. So that the very fact that Rama's kirti is even till today very well praised kirti it is, that shows that Shatru Samhara was a great relief for people back then. Ataha kshatram dharmam bahumanyate, because it is this dharmanucharana that gives him swarga phalam. Therefore, he believes this dharma is the greatest for him. That is the idea. Now, Govinda Raja, Shiromani Kara perhaps is saying almost the same thing that has been mentioned. So Govinda Raja has some points here. Swam kshatram dharmam dushta nigraha purvakam praja paripalana rupam bahumanyate gauravena janati shreyan swadharmaha iti shravana. So shreyan swadharmaha is Bhagavad Gita Vachanam is there. So whatever is swam kshatram dharmam, what is that kshatram dharmam? Dushta nigraha purvakam praja paripalana rupam bahumanyate. Bahumanyate means gauravena janati. He has great respect towards that kshatriya dharma because it is his swadharma. Then paratva padaka dharmebhyopi janitvarjitam kshatra dharmam gauravena pashyati tirthaha. So though Rama is that Parabrahma only, Vishnu only he is. So there are some dharmas for him as Ishvara, as Bhagavan, as Vishnu, some dharmas he has. But then because he is born, his upadhi is a kshatriya upadhi. Therefore even Rama, it seems, is such that even than his paratva padaka dharmas are there, so he is para Vishnu, they say para Vaikuntha, etc. So even than those dharmas which as Vishnu are more natural to him, even than those dharmas, because he is born, has taken an avatara as this human being, therefore this dharma he considers more respectful, more great than those dharmas. That is what he is doing. Then so varnashramochita dharmaha kirti dwara swarga sadhanamiti jnatva kshatra dharmam vishishya anutishthati tirtha. I told you, by following that his dharma he gets mahat kirti, and that kirti is what gives swarga phalam. So what is the partha in your books? Is it Preeti? Because everybody is talking about, so only Shiromani Kara is writing Preetya Manyate, but Tilaka Kara and Govinda Raja have written Kirti only. So Kirtya Mahat Swarga Phalam Tataha. So let us do one more shloka also. We are going at a very slow pace, but anyway, I hope you will like this way. Anyway, let's see 17th shloka. Na shreyasi rato yascha naviruddha katha ruchihi uttarottara yuktinam bhakta vachaspatir yatha. So na ashreyasi rataha. He doesn't engage in pastimes that are not welfare oriented. It doesn't give any welfare for him. Such kind of activities he doesn't indulge in. Na ashreyasi rataha yaha. And then na viruddha katha yaha saha ramaha. That Rama is somebody. So somebody, we say that somebody means is yaha. Rama is somebody who doesn't engage in ashreyasa activities. That is yaha ashreyasi na rataha saha ramaha. Then na viruddha katha ruchihi. Na viruddha katha ruchihi, he doesn't have interest in this viruddha katha. Viruddha katha means vairi katha, or viruddha katha means complaining about each. So I told you all that gossiping, such kind of things he is not interested. We will see what they are saying. Uttarottara yukti nam vakta vachaspatir yatha. So this uttarottara yukti is, suppose Rama engages in a debate with somebody, then very nicely what is the yukti that opposite person, so suppose Rama gives a yukti, then he can already anticipate what is the counter yukti that he will give, and for that yukti what I can give. That uttarottara yukti nam. The next yukti, he can think like that. So uttarottara yukti nam bhakta. He is the speaker of yuktis in such a way that uttarottara yuktis, one more logic I will give you. So one more reason why what you are saying is wrong. One more reason why what you are saying is wrong. How can he say that? Because he knows what the other person will say. That is, a uttarottara yukti means one more reason he can say like that. And in that nature he is vachaspati hi yatha. Like vachaspati, which is Brihaspati. Like Brihaspati, he is in a debate, he can construct yuktis in such a way that he can he can kind of what should I say, defeat the opponent. So we should also be like that. So we should be able to, not that you should go and fight with people, argue and all that. It's better not to do that. So I tell you out of experience, better not go and argue. But then when you read something, you should be able to kind of figure out what is the logical fallacy in what he's saying. Logical means need not be technically logical fallacy, but then some problem is there in what he's saying. You should be able to see such things. So that is enough. So I feel like that. So instead of just engaging, and then these are all never ending, you know. So like Pujya Swamiji says, you can argue with somebody who is willing to be convinced. You cannot argue with somebody whose only job is to convince you. So he says like that. So this Rama is Uttarottara Yuktinam Vakta, but Rama will speak very directly. He will say all the yuktis which can defeat the other person, and in that nature he is like Vachaspati Brihaspati. Now Ashreyasi means Ashreyas kare Nishiddha karmani tirthaha. Now Ashreyasi rataha means what is that causes Ashreyas? So Nishiddha karmas cause Ashreyas, therefore Rama doesn't engage in Nishiddha karmas. Then Dharma Viruddha Katha Ruchihi. Now na Viruddha Katha Ruchihi means Dharma Viruddha Katha Ruchihi na. That is, he is not interested in kind of speaking and engage in activities which are contrary to dharma. Na dharma viruddha katha ruchihi na. And then vadadishu brihaspati riva swokti nirvahaka yukti vakta. So brihaspati riva, like Brihaspati, he is swokti nirvahaka yukti vakta. So if you give a yukti, sometimes you will see in bhashyam etc., by the very statement that he is saying, you can show what he is saying above what you are saying. Your matam doesn't hold by your own statement. So you better construct your yukti in a better way. So our yukti should not be self-defeating yukti. That is what he's telling. So Rama's yuktis are not self-defeating. How is he saying? Swokta nirvahaka yukti vakta. So his yukti can support what he is saying and what he intends to say. So swa ukta nirvahaka yukti. What he says, his logic supports what he's saying. Sometimes you will say something, but the logic that you give will become contrary to what you're trying to say. But Rama is not like that. Shiromanikara. Na viruddha katha ruchihi dharma viruddha gramyalapadishu ruchi rahitaha. So this gramyalapa is that loose talk, you know, that gossip, etc. That is called gramyalapa. Some people just engage in gossip, conspiracy theories, etc. That is gramyalapa. He's not interested in, because that is dharma viruddha. Dharma viruddha gramyalapadishu ruchi rahitaha. Important, because Brihaspati's nature is that when he says something, then apratihata vag vyavaharaha. If he says something, that becomes a final word. That is Brihaspati's nature. Rama is also like that. If he gives a logic, it is kind of final. There is no way you can kind of undo what. So you cannot improve upon what he has said. You cannot find faults in what he has said. So that is that apratihata vag vyavaharaha. All this is Govinda Raja. So yeah, all that I said so far, Naviruddha Katha Ruchihi Gramya Lapadishu, that is Govinda Raja. Shiromanikara is saying Ashreyasi means Kalyana Viruddhe Karmani Yaha Narataha Saha Ashreyasi Narataha iti. So Yaha means he who is, so Yaha Ashreyasi Narataha means he who is not engaged in Kalyana Viruddhe Karmani. So karmas that are counterproductive to his own welfare, Rama doesn't engage in such activities. Arogas taruno vagmi pushman desha kalavit loke purushasarajnyaha sadhureko vinirmitaha. So 18th shloka onwards we will see the next session. Om yatra yatra raghunath kirtanam tatra tatra kritamastakaanjalim bashpavari paripurnalochanam marutim namata rakshasantakam. Om Purnamadah Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Harihi Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi Om Tatsat. Shri Ramarpanamastu. So if you have anything to ask.